I joined it. I never paid the dues until yesterday. I didn't know. So, you know how you said we had to join the board of realtors? So I joined the Atlanta one, but I never knew that.
I know.
Talk to the club on the front, girls on the side. Check.
Well, I just got one from my across the street neighbor who like knocked on our door. Brought our other neighbor who lives with her son, and she wants to live in the neighborhood. So she doesn't. We're not going to double on it, unfortunately. Yeah. But she doesn't want to double on it.
You should be my mom thinking. Yeah, there's no one in there and they're selling like hotcakes.
So,
And if I order the super key, they're supposed to call me too, right?
It's like
I think I just sold one in there.
To verify.
Oh, is that Winder Trail?
I don't know if I never looked in there.
Do they do construction and
I can look it on there afterwards. Somebody do it.
Too bad. Let me just go ahead and set them up on touch system.
Okay. They're selling like one was sold like 100,000. Like it should use and not everybody should.
How are you, Anna?
Well, how many but she texted me and I told her that she was like trying to she would be like 10 or 15 minutes late.
Yeah, tell Bill.
No, we're listening.
Why don't you text her?
But they've all been like going
Or
up.
she's gonna text
She's gonna text me, and then I just told her I'd run down and grab her.
Yeah, I just saw
Okay.
one that was
Okay.
How are you today?
Tired. We ran back
yeah,
from
no, we
the
appraised
house,
Yeah.
cleaning the house,
and then we closed for 226.
and many
And then the
painters,
exact
it's
same work
been
on the other
crazy.
one.
But
They closed yesterday
But
for 2
it's normally a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
It was 7.5 hours, because 2 accidents shut the roads down.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
good.
he used
The
to
last
work
one was
in that neighborhood.
1 mile from my house, and I couldn't move. So now, you know, so I'm like, oh,
Was that last night?
yeah, we left at 5:30.
Yeah.
It's like Richard
To
Rosa.
miss rush hour traffic, and walked in the house at 1:15.
She called me like
I
that.
bet.
I would have found out.
I'm like, this is not fun.
I was like, this below me, his son
Yeah, that's
used
no
to
good.
live in the
No,
neighborhood.
I remember my mother and my
When they
son.
knock you down to 10,
We're heading
15,000.
to Florida one year.
Especially at such a low price point.
We got
And I was like,
all the way
maybe
to the
that
exit.
happen again.
And it
And
was
then
just like that. We're like,
$14,000.
here. And then we were stuck, like probably another hour
and
plus,
then-
if not more.
On 16.
You and your
Have you
uniform
ever
contracts
traveled
are back.
16?
So,
You know what that is like?
Not
Not
There's hi. There's no
Rusty and the Steel
exits.
Unicorns.
Yeah, there was a truck that rolled over and burned, and they shut the interstate down.
Well, they,
Oh, goodness.
they wrote off that appraisal.
I know.
It's like,
Shut your own
the
door.
flower.
It's like just door, take it out.
I can't, but it's fantastic.
I went and did your cake.
Just lots of coffee.
And I was gonna
I
submit
know.
it yesterday.
I know.
It'll be sitting
Oh,
in
well,
the
We'll
earnest money.
get there.
Sitting
I
in
know
your-
this morning I was
in your
drinking
mailbox
coffee
for
and
like
I'm
26
this
days.
is
So I'm
the-
just gonna do it like this week.
I don't drink coffee, so I would read what's on my
Cause I was like, if it's already, if they knock down your
Drink
train.
I usually get out of there. Absolutely fine. And this morning, it was 7:30, I looked at my watch and went, oh, well, no, I had to fix that. I did. I looked at the mirror and I went, ooh, that's a bad look. Yeah. But I feel better, so no, just step out and then we'll meet, you know, I love All right,
I know
thank
McDonald's
you.
is gonna forget, so I got there at 6. My thing is, I got 8 to see what McDonald's has the best all catering things. Hash browns, coffees.
Like just start with trying.
Except they don't deliver.
How are you? Good, thank
I said,
you.
I dropped her at school at school. I'm like, how do y'all do this? Like, we do
Yes,
this every day.
I am
It's
finally.
like,
Well, you know, getting over it, but the doctor said it would take like 3 weeks, so.
yeah, since they're doing teacher appreciation week, and this little elementary
Well,
school
it's,
doesn't have
it
a
was,
foundation,
and
but
it's
it's
not the
like
respiratory infection.
they get no love.
I'll get rid of it someday. I'm just gonna pretend like I don't,
Sooner.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, that chair's looking rough.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, just in case, you know, that one leg is starting to curve in. Every now and then you get one of those wonky ones around here. So in case you're feeling a little
Swap
wonky,
it out.
Yeah, let's do.
like
Yeah.
follow one from the back.
Good morning, everybody. Alright, so I was so, hey, Michelle, welcome back. I was so hungry for lunch this morning.
I know.
Put that one in the back.
Our rep,
Really?
For 210, that gentleman? Oh dear. Roberto or? Huh.
Did you get your leads worked?
Boy, paper whole year too.
Did y'all get your leads?
All right, good morning, everybody. Someone give me some good news. Who has some good news this morning?
sunny outside.
It's sunny outside, I like that.
Better now.
I walked this morning, it's 5:15, it's so cool and wonderful. Oh, anybody that can't get up early, you know what you're missing. There's nobody out there that's cool. Now, some mornings it's 26. It's going a couple extra layers and it's still nice and warm, but it's such a good day, you're right. I enjoy that. Other good news, yes, ma'am, Chris.
Speaking of which, since Carrie just walked in, I volunteered with Must Ministries for their big annual gala that helps them do their fundraising for the year to do a lot of work. They raised $300,000 with a sponsor table from Thomas and Brown. Yeah.
I heard Carrie wrote the check.
But I mean, it's just nice to see, good time, great people supporting charities like that and helping them do amazing work, which we will be helping with on Red Day. But shout out to Must Ministries.
Definitely. I loved walking in and you were like the second person I saw. I was like, yay!
And the last one was liquor. Well, you did the pub pull. Sorry, that should have been described a little bit better.
I absolutely love it. And other good news.
I do.
All right, tell us.
Well, there's two. I have one, and Kimberly has one. We did really well on the bourbon and charcuterie. What did we end up at money-wise?
I don't know the exact, but it was over 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And, as a reminder, for anybody that didn't participate, you missed a really good time. And then Anya is the one that's going to help make sure that goes to the victims in the Ukraine war and get them over and settled. So yay to us.
It's one thing to write check. It's another thing to go there. Now, she's from Poland, knows her way around. Well, so I get that. Now, that helps out a lot. But she's going in. She's going to the border. It's safe. And she is helping them find a place to live. And so, guys, that money is going to great use. It's helped a lot of families. So that is a great one. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had a question on that. So I know she was there. Is she still there?
She is.
Okay, and so she's just, just whatever.
She's helping them settle as they come across. Isn't that great? We made a big difference.
We did make a big difference that way. She's making a difference also. So I love that.
Yeah.
And Kimberly, you have one?
Yes, bragging moment, but my daughter modeled for Ralph Lauren back in December, and they just posted everything today.
Oh, my daughter.
She's so pretty.
Wow.
I wonder where she gets her looks.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I was super pumped.
Yay, Kimberly.
This just me, so my phone rings last night with my two grandsons, and we're talking with a few minutes, and they said, well, we're not doing Bible study on time. Can we do Bible study together? I went,
Aww.
so I haven't messed this up too badly yet. Because it is a true statement that they do not make pot with bourbon and water.
Oh,
They had to
yeah.
go and pour the bourbon and make the bourbon water, so I taught them that, and their parents are aware of it. So bourbon and water and Bible study, which I love.
You know, and I want to say, Jim is the best granddad I think I've ever seen. He is so involved with his grandchildren, and they love him. So kudos to you, Jim.
I will tell you this, people, they're not grandchildren yet. If you thought your children were expensive, wait till you have grandchildren.
A couple Disney trips.
Because you have to, I haven't learned the word no.
They learn it, but you don't, right?
Exactly right, yes. And when they say, oh, well, Pop, you go, okay, I'll get it for you. All right, we can talk about that phone. Any of us have something they want to share? Good news. Good news, good news, good news. Then let's move on. Thomas and Brown, what do you all do for a living?
Good morning. We just hang out, you know?
Plain
Just
happy
kidding.
hour.
Plain happy hours. That's what people think I do all day. So my name is Carrie with Thomas and Brown. I think you know everyone in here. I do. Well, that's good, right? So we are your favorite closing attorney, I hope. But we have an office here.
You should be your only clothing
The
company.
only, that's right. But we have an office here in the building. We have Woodstock, Galleria, Alpharetta, Blue Ridge, and Buckhead. So we're all around some of you guys. And we have a few classes coming up. This one, so we have one right before this too, and I forgot to send you the link, Kimberly, but on May the 16th at Galleria, from 1 to 4, we're doing Matters of Madness, which is a really good class. We talk about title matters, or matters affecting title, anything with like probate, divorce, wills, estates, corporations. We talk about a lot of stuff, and it's a really good class. It's actually one of my favorites. And of course, we do prizes throughout. And then guess what we're doing after it? Happy hours. So if you guys came last month, we did one there as well, and it was really good. And then we're walking right across the street to Seco, so it's a lot of fun. And then
It's a rooftop bar,
it is.
and the food was absolutely delicious.
It was.
And all I had
We
was
did a
just that
fajita
one
bar.
remember that one margarita?
The
That was about
one?
this big?
Yes. I'll be the venti
One.
margarita.
What did you say, big one? I don't know.
It's a Galleria, right?
Galleria, yes.
What time?
From 1 to 4, and I'll send out an email for you guys.
thank you.
And then the happy hour would just be like at 4:15.
And what date is this?
May 16th,
May
which is a
16th.
Monday. And then on the 25th, which is a very, very special day in the lives of everyone because it is my birthday.
Oh.
Yes. On the most boring topic of all, license law. It's okay, but I know everyone needs that, and it has been requested by many of you guys. So we're going to do that here on the 25th from 1 to 4, and I'll be accepting cash gifts, tequila, whatever you guys want to bring in.
Bourbon.
Bourbon,
Bourbon,
yes, I'll probably
yes.
give it to Jim.
Vacations.
So that one will be then, and we're looking forward to another great night. I cannot believe it's already good. Nice.
Yes.
Well, we just had January.
No.
But anyway, thank you guys, and we have updated our website. We have some more classes listed out that we do if y'all ever want to schedule one for your team or anybody. It doesn't have to be like a full-fledged 50 people thing. So we have that on there. The locations finder is cool. I know a lot of you guys have been using that. So if you have a closing and you're not sure which office might be closest to that place, if that's where they want to close, it'll pull it up in order of like proximity. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Carrie.
Okay, who is up? Come on up
That will
here.
be us.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yeah. Reed?
Hi.
Hi, so, we have a lot of people that are concerned about interest rates rising. There's a Fed meeting on the 15th, so I have several people calling and asking, are interest rates gonna go up again? We're concerned. So, Reed, why don't you talk about this
Sure.
that we have?
Yes, it's really interesting what's happening right now. And I've been in here for a lot of years, and I told you guys for probably, just about 8 years in a row, rates are gonna be going up. Boy, they better buy now, rates are gonna go up. Well, I was finally right. You know, that's the way it goes. Eventually you'll be
And I was
right.
finally wrong, because I said, no, they're not.
Yeah.
So I was finally wrong.
Well, it's really interesting because right now, the big specter on the horizon is inflation. And you guys know that the Federal Reserve, most people think that they're a little bit late to start addressing inflation. It was coming. And let me tell you something else too, guys. Did you know that every member of the Federal Reserve, not one of them has ever held a job in the private sector? Not one.
Wow.
I could see, I read an article yesterday and it showed their background. They went to PhD studies and they got hired by the Federal Reserve. And they have not been in, and there was a quote from Winston Churchill that said, you know, it's gonna be a bad day when the quote experts start making all the decisions, because the common man in the street that knows what pain feels like can often make better decisions. And I think that's it's crazy what's going on right now. But anyway, what we've seen is when recession comes, typically interest rates start dropping. So if you look at this, these are the Fed chairs over the years, Volcker, Greenspan, and Powell. And it shows that when inflation started kicking up, where interest rates started, they raised rates. Inflation started, what happened with inflation, and then interest rates started coming down. So you go to the next slide if you would. So every one of these gray bars is when inflation started, and this is what interest rates did after, when recession started kicking in. Sorry, these are recessions. So if this is true, sometime next year, rates may come down again. I'm giving every disclaimer I can right here because I don't know. But that's typically the pattern, is we can see rates go up, and when recession really takes hold, interest rates will come back down. Now, will they go back down into the twos? Who the heck knows? But because that was all, and Jeff's shaking his head, I think he's right, because that was a lot of artificial stimulus by the government.
Yeah, so basically our answer is we're not sure, you know?
We're definitive about that.
Yeah, but here, what we can offer your clients is once we have them through Silverton Secure, we can lock their interest rate before they're under contract on a home. So it's called our lock and shop. We can lock them for 60 days. We can extend it after that. And if the rates go down, we will renegotiate the rate if it goes down by a quarter point or more. But
Right.
interest rate, not the.
And we've got some people who, they got saved from, a big interest rate jump because they locked on. Interest rates are 2% higher than they were at the first of the year. That's one of the fastest, probably the fastest jump ever.
And all right, $300,000 loan,
Don't ask that.
so how much more is it gonna go up about?
Man, a lot.
We could get you those calculations.
What's the rate right?
Somebody
Well,
probably knows the number. Do you know it off the top of your head? $100. Yeah.
$100?
I do know for every eighth, it goes up, it's 7 cents per thousand.
Listen, see, this is,
Wow.
don't y'all wish this
For
lady was still in the mortgage business?
I had to do those calculations for 29 years, I know,
7 cents per thousand.
correct.
So it's a difference of $100, and so what we're doing is like, if you don't buy right now, it's gonna go up, you're not gonna be able to afford it,
But it's not about how much they're gonna pay, it's about how, the credit line,
The amount
How much they
yeah,
qualify
it goes
for.
down, like,
So the person that it's really gonna affect is the one that's right on the cusp, in that marginal, and we have had a few that were at a 47, 48, debt income ratio, that with the current rate, it put them up where they couldn't qualify. A few,
Exactly.
or drop their purchasing power, which right now, you need as much as you can get, right? Hang on.
So are the arm rates better than the vendors?
They are slightly. Now, what we've seen is, and quite frankly, I'll shoot straight with you, there are a few banks who have done some portfolio arms. Their arm products will be really good. We're seeing it catch up wider in the mortgage industry, where arm rates are coming down to where there is some benefit. I locked 2 arms yesterday, 7.6 arms, that were probably 3/8% lower than a 30-year fix. So
Is that our 100% program?
no, one on the 100% program, that's something different. This is a regular arm.
Okay.
So it is a conversation that we're having now that we haven't had in years about arms.
Any questions?
And could you mind go back to that first slide? Don't forget, movie party, guys. Let us know if you want to be a part of this. It's on May 28th at 10 a.m. And we'd love to, you guys do the marketing, we pay for the event. So, and one thing I want to end you guys with, yesterday when I got home, so my daughter she really has a green thumb, and yesterday her peonies blew. Now, I don't know if you guys know about those, but She brought in three, a pink one, a really dark red one, and a white one. And they're just, I mean, they're stunning. And then she brought in another one, and she's got some dahlias that are starting to come up. I want to encourage you guys, take a minute and look at all the extras that there are in the world. I've got a book at home by a guy who, it's called Life's Extras. And he said, you know, God could have made the world just purely functional, black and white and gray and that, but he didn't. He created it with beauty. And he did it, I believe, so that we would remember and turn our attention to him. So I want you guys to be encouraged. Just take a few minutes and look at the beauty in this world around us, and let it soak in and have a different focus of our attention, and just be grateful to God for all that he's given us. That's what I want to encourage. That's my thought for the day.
Amen.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let's give a hand to you all. So guys, part of the problem is that they only give $100. I get that, okay? Because I'm in my ivory tower, looking at all this in front of me, I sort of have all the answers. But the problem is that right now, that's going up $100. Groceries going up $100. Gas is going up $100. So it's not just that. It's all of a sudden everything's going up. And so guys, it's also been going, well, I got to overpay for my house. I'm going to have a higher interest rate. It's going to cost me more than I want to spend to redo it. And I can't find anybody to redo it for 6 to 8 months.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
So guys, all that together has purpose. God bless you. And the purpose is what? To do what? Slow the market down. And guys, look at me. We need for our market to slow down. We can't sustain 14 and 28 and 36 offers. And people are not getting houses right now. So that's my statement. So as Gary Keller said, very wisely, he said, guys, we need to raise interest rates because we need to do what? Slow this market down. So guys, but the ones that are out there working like you all are, you're still doing well in whichever market, which is cool. So, all right, guys, enough pontificating.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I didn't hear. What did you say, sweetie?
I had a question for Reed in regards to one of the slides. I don't think I was heard before.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
The question was in regards to, the slide was in regards to a recession. Is this a true recession you see coming, or a market correction once the supply chain is settled?
Well, if you trust the experts, it'll be a recession. Now, how deep and how long, nobody knows, but it looks like it's what are the marks of recession? Lower GDP for some in Great Britain, they say 2 quarters in a row, but unemployment starts to creep up a little bit. Well, we're at rock bottom. I mean, it's almost got to go up a little bit, just general slowdown in the economy. So I think that rising interest rates, because of the Fed's decision, will cause that slowdown, and it will probably push us into recession. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's what I'm reading.
Because I will remind you that companies, a lot of them are flush with cash right now. The banks are flush with cash right now, guys. So there's a lot that's got to happen between now and we get to whatever a full-blown recession is. I don't know what that is. Maybe this guy from Westminster can tell us, you know what I mean? So I didn't, but guys, until that time happens, what should we be out there doing? Selling real estate.
Hey, Jim, the biggest dynamic in real estate, though, is supply and demand, and that equation hadn't changed. So people are going to still be buying houses.
It's actually, I was talking to a builder who's slowing down builds because of the cost of supplies and everything else. So we're already at that deficit, and if these builders slow down.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry, I know we got to move on, but I just realized I was explaining the class to you guys that we just did, the one on the 16th. The one on the 16th at Galleria is called Choose Your Own Adventure, which is also one of my favorite classes, but we have closing scenarios and it's very interactive, so you guys can like choose what you would do, and then we'll see if that gets you to a successful closing. So I'm gonna email this out, but I'm sitting here like
forever drink a CB small alcohol.
Unfortunately not.
We stand corrected.
It's only
Okay, guys, the Y4C2Ts, the one I love today is trust. Guys, that is the one. And once that other agent on the side loses trust in you, the chance of y'all making a deal happen goes down significantly, guys. So trust starts with honesty. Don't lie to the other agent. Tell them what the truth is. Tell them what the truth is, guys. So trust starts with honesty. That's one of my favorite ones. Moving on, of course, Supreme. You wanna talk about this, Jeff? Cause I keep seeing it.
Yes, so CE class this afternoon at 1. There's still time, it's on Zoom, so there's still time to sign up for it. The instructor is 4-time Grammy Award winner Ty Anderson. He was a bass player and vocalist for a band called Third Day. He's also president of the Georgia Grammy nominating committee, and he talks about. He goes through, how does a rock star market, and how do you build a following, and how do you create this engine of just self-sustaining referrals over and over again. And he provides information that you won't get anywhere else. So if you can make the CE class this afternoon at 1 o'clock from 1 to 4, via Zoom, just go to supremebest.com to register, supremebest.com/ITP Rockstar.
It will be a wonderful class, guys, and he's a great guy, and he's quite the character, so you'll enjoy being class with it. Real Estate Conversations, please remember this is every Monday and Wednesday, 8:30. Arthur is in there, and they're having a wonderful time talking about the scripts that work. They practice them, it's real life scenarios. So guys, please go do this again, Monday and Wednesday at 8:30. You'll learn a lot, show up. Group coaching, modern leverage for a single agent with Carrie Qualters. You want to talk about this, Arthur?
Is Carrie online?
Carrie, you there, sweetie? Are you online? She must not be.
She's not online. Okay, so every agent should have leverage. I think started day 1. So Carrie's a very systematic person. So she's gonna break down specifically for the senior agent what you should have in order to be able to run a big business without having a big team. So please join her. She's extremely good at systems.
Smart lady, guys. It's a great class. Been doing group coaching. Modern leverage for the single agent taught by Carrie Qualters.
Different side. Same thing.
All right, 2 slides.
And then, guys, please don't forget about this. Command is an amazing tool if you use it. Guys, there's so much good things going on. If you're out there, when people are going, well, Jim, Command still does not work. Well, you do not know what you're talking about. Command is incredible. It has so many systems in it. Michelle is one of the masters of it because she's on every night from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Not last night.
Anyway, she loves Marty Miller. And so, guys, just realize that Command is out there, is for you. And it's wonderful. Kevin Jackson will talk you through, well, here's what you do to get started. So please join him May 5th, 5 to 6 p.m. Bring your favorite beverages.
Or your margarita.
Or your margarita. Cinco de Mayo, exactly right. C-Class Radon Inspection, May 10th. Hosted by Amerispec from 1 to 4th, CE class. If you need some CE credits, please come and join us. Group coaching, new agent mastermind. Talk about this, Arthur Ring.
So this is just a way for my newer agents to jump in and ask all the questions that I get on Sundays. So just jump in. This is just an open slot. If there's nothing you want to talk about, I have topics that we can talk about. So put this on your calendar. I'll be there from 11 to 12, and we'll just chat. We'll chat about the business, where we see it going, what the strategies you should be employing right now, and the fact that nobody's really negotiating anything, and then when the market changes, you're not in your head, you're gonna have to learn to negotiate. Because right now it's just put in an offer and waive everything. That's not negotiated, right? So just come in and let's have a conversation about this market. What happens when it changes?
Showing your value proposition.
Yes, right now it's just waiving everything. That's not a value proposition. That's just the market.
But we're still educating our buyers, so you need to be aware of what you're going through there too, so.
Yes.
Journals for a Cause.
Okay, that's me.
Please do.
I'll just pop up. Thanks to everyone who's donated. We have a whole bunch of them down there, which is super exciting. And I'm actually gonna take them down to Supriya's Alpharetta office. So thank you to everyone who participated. We'll do it again. I'd love to do it again. We were doing it for the month of April, but I haven't counted, but we've got a lot. So thank you. It's very exciting.
Well, I got on Google, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And you get a deal on them about like 30 of them, so there was a bunch of which is cool.
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Oh, no, that would, I love it. I love shopping, so that's fun. And of course, we have a raffle for a 15-year-old bottle of Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Kim, are you in charge of that?
I'm in the drawing, so I'll let Michelle draw.
Oh. Okay, this is exciting, and thank you again, Rusty.
Is Rusty gonna draw it?
Okay, all right. Michelle Byers. No, I didn't do it. Jim Alexander.
He's gonna donate it back, but we're gonna pick somebody else.
But you won't have a sip.
Make him pay double. Make him pay double.
What if it was you again?
I'd have to take it with Rusty.
Lilia Kapovich.
So Lily and I will share a drink of it together. How about that? We might invite you, we'll see. Really, guys, and guys, this was Michelle's sort of baby, and she did a great job with it, Michelle. It turned to be a big success. I wish
And
you
thank everybody else
because it
that
was so
helped.
much fun, but we got the charcuterie trays there, we got all kinds of stuff, and certainly Kimberly helped out with a bunch. And so guys, it was a lot of fun, just a little bit different, guys. And now I know how to say charcuterie. Almost. Guys, remind you about Courtney Newton's class coming up about this event. It is coming up on May 4th, tomorrow from 1 to 4. And then May 11th, if you want to know more about this, information is available where, Kimberly?
It's been emailed out.
Email out, exactly right, Jess. So get online. I'm sure it'll be excellent if Courtney's doing it. So jump online. It'll be another way for you guys to learn more about how to dominate listings, which we do. Red Day.
Okay. We'll just be the models. I'll agree. Okay. Yeah.
Come on.
Are we going
Come on down.
Yes, we'll
Mine's unofficial, but it's red.
Oh,
Give me your
uh-huh.
last red on it.
That's why.
Yay, so May 12th, next week is Red Day, and everyone's gonna volunteer, I know. We have 2 slots, 10 to 12 p.m. and 1:30 to 3:30. We've got lunch by Supreme and happy hour by Silverton. And
Don't think you're sliding in just for those. We need you to go.
we need everybody to show up too. So yeah, and there's gonna be drawings for volunteers to show up. We're gonna have 3 prizes that will be pulled at happy hour. And so we would love everyone to participate. So.
And go ahead and
Sure.
start bringing in your food. You'll see the big banner. You couldn't miss that when you came in. Thank you,
Right.
Rusty, for helping it get up there.
Yeah.
And Ike from Must Ministries is gonna be here next week for team meeting, so I would love to see a mountain of food downstairs in that hallway as he's walking in the door, because we'll deliver it all Thursday morning to Must. So please bring in anything non-perishable. They'll also have a list of other stuff that you're gonna see flyers around the office too, but they'll take clothing, they'll take bedding, towels. I mean, they need everything, because they've got the Hope House that's just opened up, and so they need all the help we can get. But food.
So it's Arthurine. Since you
New
know,
or gently used stuff.
know Anderson pretty well, if I were an agent going wrong, I know it's Red Day, but I'm just too busy to come up with no say.
Oh my gosh, I was on a conference with her yesterday for the lead, and you gotta come.
You don't wanna tell Mo you're not coming.
No, you just have to come experience it at least for this first time. It will fill up your soul.
And we've gotten away from it with COVID, but in the past, all offices close.
Yeah.
We don't do closings, we don't schedule appointments with the clients, we come out and volunteer. So please do your best, do everything you can, and donate.
Yeah, and it's a 2-hour slot, so just choose one. I'm choosing the afternoon because I've got stuff going on in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'll just choose the afternoon and do the entire afternoon.
So you can show your clients in the morning, come in the afternoon, or vice versa.
Yeah.
If you're closing in the morning, come in the afternoon.
The slot times.
Oh,
so
10
you know.
to 12, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then 1:30 to 3:30 p.m.
And this is on Cobb Parkway,
Yep,
so it's
it's
kind of near
not
the
far.
Canton Connector, just above.
Right.
5, yeah, so it's not far away.
It's fun, and so be sure to sign up, and it'd be great if we had some numbers, some idea of who's planning on coming, so Kimberly sent out a sign up.
So, and sign up for lunches, sign up for happy hours, we have a head count, so they know how many to expect at the Saturday.
So I signed up like a couple weeks ago, you should be on.
You're good, you get first dibs, then you get the choice, yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah, lunch is gonna be here in the parking lot, so we're gonna bring in their little mobile grill out thing and we'll have some fun there. And then that's gonna be from 12 to 1, that way the 1:30 folks can get back over there. And then when we finish up at 3:30, at 4 o'clock, Supreme's gonna, or Silverton, sorry, is gonna host happy hour at the Atlanta Hard Cidery, which is on 120, just past the Big Chicken. If you come from the office, just take Bravo Road straight on that, cross Cobb Parkway, and it's right there on the left. lots of parking, and lots of fun. They have lots of fun flavors for spring, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, so come and join us, be sure to participate.
Well, thank you for your
Andy.
hard work. Give them a hand, you all. All right, moving on, the KW effect. Guys, just want to remind you about this, because I'm gonna tell you one more time, as you get older, you're gonna be thinking, they want to stop showing houses every single day. I need to have, how many types of money sources? 5 to 7, okay? Depending where you are, depending who you talk to. Guys, at least 5. And guys, this is one of the easiest ways. And Aaron Kaufman, who is the master of this, he's one of those guys that is way up there in his yearly earnings. I'm not sure how much. Anybody know how much he gets a year? $1 million? Is that much? Anyway,
No, he's not a million.
But anyway, he does well, guys, and he's gonna come at Janice's Obeck's office and talk about how he built this empire, just recruiting people, guys. So guys, please, 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 put this on your calendar. It's coming up, happy hour from 5 to 7 after that. Lessons learned, Michelle.
All right, this is a good one. Put your thinking cap on.
What we do?
No, no, we didn't do anything. This was something that happened to an agent yesterday. And so how many of you are doing 0 days for appraisal when you're writing it up for buyers?
I mean,
Okay,
often.
for appraisal. How many of you as listing agents think that 0 days for appraisal is attractive? Okay, all right. Now, that is, unless you do a special stip or you accept a special stip as the agent. So tell me what's wrong with this picture. We just accepted 0 days for appraisal. So what does that mean to you?
Whatever it appraises, I mean.
Whatever it appraises for.
Yeah.
If they terminate, they lose their earnest money.
Right.
What's that?
If they terminate, they lose their earnest money. They have no
Right.
escape clause.
Or appraise, yeah.
On appraisal.
That's what it means to you. That's right. That's right. And what else?
This just happened to me with that stip.
Okay,
So,
well, then maybe you can add to this. All right, so behind the special stip, behind this 0 days of appraisal was a special stip. And the agent texted it to me, but I'm gonna paraphrase here, is that in the event that the appraisal is less than the agreed upon sales price, the buyer agrees to pay up to $10,000, yeah.
So you just created an appraisal contingency.
Correct.
It's unlimited.
An unlimited appraisal contingency. It could be the day before closing.
Yeah.
So because your special stip overrides pre-printed. So for those of you that think that are not thinking through this, it's catching us. In this case, the seller now has an unlimited time to get an appraisal. Did you all think about that?
The seller or the
Yes.
buyer?
The buyer.
The buyer.
Oh, I mean, the buyer has, thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
the gap clauses have just become a norm. I mean, you see them in every contract. So yeah, having a 0 and a gap, it just doesn't make sense.
So what could have been put in special steps to create
Based on a date.
A time.
a time, a date, a number of days, where you're limiting that negotiation, otherwise you're buying it as is, as you agreed upon. And what do you need as the listing agent to make sure that they can do?
Provide the extra money.
Correct. Because the other part of this equation was that the agent said to me, well, how do I fix an appraisal that comes in under? And it's comps, right? I mean, or checking it down, but to say, I said, well, what comps do you have to support that value? And she goes, we don't.
Right.
So we're not thinking through sometimes the ramifications of getting very creative with special steps because they're overriding things and they're conflicting. Any questions? Amanda, you said you just had something.
I did. So they did 0 days financing, 0 days appraisal, and I was like, oh, this looks great. And then they had the special stip, and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird, but okay. And they said that, you know, within 1 day of receiving the appraisal, that they would let us know, you know, if it was exceeding the gap, and it did. And so I was like, oh, this is really bizarre. So I ended up talking to Sherry, I talked to Lon, and they were like, yeah, no, it overrides everything. And because there was conflicting opinions on it, where it was like, does the 0 days override the 1 day in the stip, and then they ended up letting it expire.
Yeah, so if you don't put in the special steps enough to cover your seller, if you're on that side, you've just given an open carte break.
So what's the rest of the story? What should you put in after you say you'll
Well,
cover?
if you're gonna use that special step where you've got a gap, from a listing standpoint, it was brilliant or unintentionally brilliant from the buyer's agent, but from the listing, you need to limit. Or say, you know, or don't even do the appraisal gap. But you better make sure they can pay for it.
If in the contract say they had 0 financial, but like 10 days appraisal, does that take care of the stip?
Yeah, it does. You don't really have 0 then, you have 10 days.
Right, so even though the stip didn't have a day in it, does that 10-day cover the stip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's overridden at 0.
Okay.
But at least you've got that time element.
Okay, I just didn't know if you needed to write.
Technically, the stip also overrides the 10. Because if they receive it on day 10, they can let us know by day 11. And then we have to make a
Well,
decision.
if you don't word it properly.
Yeah.
See, that's my question. Do you need to still put it in the stip? I'm coming from a buyer. You still need to put it, you got the 10 up here, but do you still in your stip need to write the 10 in the stip?
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's more to it. Now you're trying to create things that an attorney hadn't looked over. I would rather see that you have 10 days for appraisal.
Yeah.
And then you do the appraisal gap, if you're doing that separately, in the special steps.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because a lot of brokers deal in a world of black and white. If we put this in there, it's going to save us, and for sure it's in there because my attorney told me it would save us. But what is an attorney? All they can do is give you a what? An informed what? Opinion. That's it. I don't care if the broker that says, the attorney, because only we know for sure which is right or wrong is for it to do what? Go to court. And the court says, yeah, they're right, it did say that. So guys, just realize that there is no way to make a deal 100% foolproof, is there? As long as you have a willing buyer and willing seller, can you work most things out?
Yes.
Guys, that's the thing, when you do that, so guys, so I appreciate it because Michelle always brings the most interesting scenarios. And guys, the thing is, quit practicing law, call one of them, not me, you can call me, I love all that kind of stuff, and just say, guys, what can we put in there that would give us the most protection? Let them at least guide you through that, because guys, a lot of times the other agent tells you, oh, they're qualified, don't worry about it. There's a closing call, and guess what? They lost his job. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Chris Van Zandt.
I have one more question, if this is Teresa.
All right, I have one more question. Go for it.
Hey, just on Sunday, I got an offer that had 0-day appraisal contingency, but then they had the special stipulation that said if the property appraises for not less than $25,000 below purchase price, buyer shall be deemed to have waived the appraisal contingency. But the appraisal contingency was already at 0.
So
We wound up actually just deleting that special stipulation, but the question was, since the appraisal contingency was already at 0, was there anything to waive?
No, because you overrode it with a special step.
But the special stip said that they will waive the appraisal contingency if it appraises for within $25,000 of purchase price. So what if it didn't? They already have a 0-day appraisal contingency, so there is no contingency.
What timeline?
Yeah.
That's what's missing.
Yeah, if in doubt, let us look at it. Let us kind of go through what if scenario, because that's what we do. And if we really are not certain, let's contact Lon, get his opinion, and his opinion, but we're trying to create these things that we don't know what we're doing.
Okay, well, we just wound up deleting that special stipulation to be sure.
And Teresa, that may have been the best thing. The good news is that if it closes, anybody care?
No, it's when it doesn't.
When it closes, that's right.
And
No,
we're
if it
starting
doesn't
to
close, that's
see
when we say,
some of
what
those
was the
things.
intent of the party? So guys, these are all great questions. And ones that I love to talk about, because I live in the gray areas, that's where I love to live. Speaking of gray areas, Chris, come up. I'm not sure what that means.
It's an odd intro.
I'm not sure what that means, but so Chris, as you look out there right now, tips, tricks, and life hacks. I love the title. We told me about it, I said, that's a great title. So Chris, tell me what you're seeing out there right now.
Well, I think I can actually jump ahead then. The future slide. First conversations. Actually, Rusty did it again, I think on Monday, yesterday. We'll get to that. Let's just go through the slides. We'll get to what you're asking me in a second.
You turn the light on, the light better.
Yeah, sure, people can see. It's easier. So first thing, these are tips, tricks, and hacks of successful agents, not just me. I posted on the Raw Street Facebook page about a month ago. What are some things you're doing in your business or taught in the class? Maybe you learned by doing it, or you talk to their agents, you mastermind, etc. Some of these came from my coach. I'll say this right now, get a coach. It is great to have different conversations, higher level conversations. So picking his brain instruments, so I use Steve Calp as my coach. If you guys don't know who he is, he's an awesome maps coach. And we were discussing his co-op agents. And I'm sure you guys have discussed right now in the market, calling the co-op agent and talking to them. What? Yeah, sure. So he wanted to remind me that basically it's simply a short for cooperative. The goal of a transaction is to close and not ride the roller coaster. Your clients are gonna ride the roller coaster. Don't buy a ticket. Don't go on the theme park.
Right.
Essentially, be the calm in the storm. So the idea was I had 2 transactions this past week. Didn't win either offer. I was a good agent that called the listing agent and asked all the questions. And both agents said, number one, I was the only one that called. It was mind-boggling. We discuss it, I think, ad nauseum in every single team meeting we have. But that being said, as I'm talking to his agent, building this rapport, and realized I'm not going to win the offer, I kept on going. And they started asking more questions. And the agent said, man, I wish there were more good agents. I said, like us. To reaffirm what she's saying, that she's the same thing I am. And I said, we need to have more good conversations. It starts with us. How about we start having good conversations? What's your coming soons? What's your pipeline coming up? So now I'm finding out what she's got coming up soon and already knowing we created a dialogue. So if I come up to one of her listings, I've got a head start on the rest of the game, from the rest of the field. So for me, it was let's start with us. The conversation of what's coming soon, what do you have? Here's what I've got. Here's what I'm seeing. Offer value to them. Just doing that alone will create a good conversation. How many times you text an agent, look back and go, oh man, what was our last conversation? Look at your phone and go, man, crap, sorry. That person's in my phone. I've talked to them before. What did I say? And you know full well they're looking at it too. Because the last conversation was heated or controversial or any kind of tone in there, you've got a bad start, right? So if you start with, I always go back, oh my gosh, what's the last thing I said? Do I have to almost apologize before I start texting them again? Because really, if you ended it, the last thing was heated, you're going into that in enemy territory. If the last thing was good, you say, hey, Eric, I know we talked a few months ago about your property there. Hey, reach back out again for a few questions. I'm setting expectations. We talked before, it was good, and I'm coming back again for help. And I always say, listen, come back to me for help too. As my listing, I'll do the same thing for you. I'll share the same information that I can share, that I'm able to share. I'll share it back with you. I'll share the same kindness. Does that sound good? And of course, they say yes. Perfect. Sounds awesome. So that to me is a huge thing. Let's start with us. As agents we talk to, create an expectation that you're going to pay back. Closing cost conversation. Steve want me to bring this one up because it doesn't happen right now, but it will, if you shift back, it might happen again. You present an offer to your client, you're the listing agent. Lead with the net number. If you get an offer for $400,000 and $5,000 closing costs, lead with $395. The number's there in their head. Don't, if you say 4, that's all they hear, and they're trying to back the number back out. Say with a $395 offer, it looks like $400,000 purchase price, $5,000 in closing costs. What that means is the buyers are basically trying to finance the closing costs, right? That's all they're doing. They're spreading their closing costs out over the life of the loan. At the end of the day, it's not a bad decision for a buyer to do that if they can. In today's market, they can't. But as we shift and we change, we might see more of that. If we explain to our sellers why it's being done, or frame it the right way, it's not as scary. So lead with the net and then break down the terms. The last thing is, Kevin Jackson thought of this one. If you're gonna essentially offer above list price, and you're offering at least 6% above list, let the other agent know. Say, listen, we're basically writing an offer that's covering your client's entire commission for both parties. We as the buyer are paying the commissions. You're offering 6%. No, obviously it's not quite even. You know, the idea is you're offering 6% over list. You're willing to pay commissions for both parties. So that's only if you're doing that. At the end of the day, if you're close to that number, say, listen, our offer here, we're going above to kind of get rid of that obligation for your seller. Next one, face to face. Don't make love over the phone. Isn't there a Steve Count one? Appointments. At the end of the day, all these conversations with our buyers or our sellers are great, but until you're face to face, you've not built a connection yet. All you've done is had a not a full connection. They might love you, but they might not have signed anything yet. They don't know who you are. They have not looked at the whites of your eyes. So at the end of the day, it's setting the appointment, it's getting in front of them. So even if it's Zoom, at least then there's a face-to-face, there's something that's happening. At the end of the day, don't think that phone calls are enough to secure a client. They don't really know you and have not bought into who you are. Yeah? Simple downline script. Jim, you'll like this one. Michelle, at every closing, you be saying this simple 2 sentences. That's it. At every closing, with someone you like working with. If you hated them, then maybe don't recruit them to Quan. But just say, I really enjoyed working with you. Would you be offended if I have my broker give you a call? That's it. That's all you have to say. If the answer is no, it's okay. You still had a great transaction. You still closed. All parties are happy. It's saying that simple statement. If they say yes, awesome. That's downline opportunities. And then you call Jim, you call Michelle and say, hey, listen, I've got Eric Decker with EXP. He's excited to get a phone call. Perfect. Eric shifted. So just, you need to have that in your script at closing, to say those 2 sentences. That's it. But at that point, you've already created a great dialogue. Everyone's happy at the closing table. They think you're a great agent. And therefore, you asking that question, what if in their mind they're not happy where they're at? You don't know their situation. We assume everyone's happy where they're at, because we're happy where we are, right? What if they're not? What if they need more training? What if you did creative things in the contract to get it to close? At the end of the day, that simple question might open up a door you never knew existed. The only answer is no, doesn't matter. All right, it's a hard knock play, orphan clients. This is a stat that I also got. So we know by the 5th anniversary, at least 50%, maybe more, of the agents will be long gone, and many of those that are still in the business will have done little to keep in touch with them. At a closing, you should have, obviously, address of the buyer if you're a listing agent, right? Who is better to sell the house? You just sold it. You just sold that listing to that buyer. You've proven that you can sell that house for a high dollar and in theory quickly. You should add that buyer into your database. At the end of the day, if somebody's family or a close friend, maybe you kind of hold back on that. But otherwise, add them in. Put them on a drip campaign, send them a flyer, send them something. Remind them that you're a great agent in that area. Especially if you farm it. You're still allowed to farm an area, even if it's someone else's client. I was lucky to have a transaction last year where I actually had a client buy this house in 2019. She sold it in 2020. So here's 2 transactions. In 2021, the buyer called me and said, hey, can you sell our house? I'm thinking, you bought it last year and you had an agent. A year ago, you bought it from a different agent. why are you calling me? I didn't ask that question. I asked it after the transaction was over. They asked once to the point of like, I can't screw this up. And they said, who did this out better than you? You sold it the last time for the highest price point in the market. You figured you could do it again. Bam. Then, so I said, I talked to them at the closing table at most 10 minutes. But I was professional at the closing table. I treated them well. I didn't talk down to them because they weren't my client. But that 10 minutes at the closing table and professionalism on the sale got me another sale. So, orphan clients, like I said, put those people into your database.
Don't let that be you.
What?
Meaning,
yeah,
if you're that,
100%. How
don't be
bad
the
is
other
it?
agent.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine she looked back or calls me, hey, how's the house going? We sold it. What? You didn't call me?
Right.
That answer's there. Yeah. So, weekly market temp. Next, Rusty, you posted up, because I was leaving too. On Monday, you posted something on the Raw Facebook page. Someone did it 2 weeks ago. I love this. I think this should happen every Monday from now on the Raw Facebook page. If you're not on there, you should be on the Raw page. An agent, I don't know who it was, posted 2 weeks ago, what are you seeing in the market? It was so genius. At the end of the day, price points, location, all these things are so unique and so different. So we're seeing shifts in some areas and then not at all in others, right? So it's the idea of, I'm making the goal now every Monday to put market weekly temp. Just post them all, hey, what are you guys seeing? And everyone can drop their stuff in there. Buy side, list side, whatever. Very helpful, right? It was so helpful to me. I love that idea.
Days on market.
All those things, just, it was clever. And Rusty, thanks for posting it again, because it made me think, man, why are we not doing more of this?
Yeah.
This conversation is good, but that's just, it's the power of the masses. And doing different brokerage, different, it's perimeter, it's Dunwoody, it's, city side. It's all of us talking together as a Raw group. So to me, it's a powerful thing. You should look at that. My goal is every Monday now to post what's the market temp. And then suck the info from the group. So
other than the Rawls group, I wonder if our brokers have stats on that in terms of what each agent has been doing. And if they could collect from the agents, like how many offers did you get on your listings, and then share that with the office, gauge the temperature of the market.
I don't think who's the time.
You're gonna, that's on.
At the end of the day, this requires people offering their time to do it. And also though, but I want to share it. I mean, you're not required to share information. It could be one of those things where you got multiple offers, you're not sure that one will work at the closing. You might not want to share what's actually happening. But it could be helpful to say, hey, I had an open house, I had 25 people in there, we're looking at 15 offers. Or at open house, people walked in and crickets. But for me, it's just dialogue at different locations, price points, etc. Cool, those are the conversation parts. Technology. This whole topic came up because of this one thing, the Super E-Key. Oh, open your Super E-Key app for me right now. This whole topic for today became this one thing that I discovered however long ago. I told one person, I go, I never knew that. I go, what else don't we know?
We were at family reunion, we were on Bourbon Street.
There you go. I was drinking on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
This came up. So thank you, R3, for adding that in there. All right, so you can open your Super E-Key app. Got it?
Yes.
On the bottom right, you'll see the More button, the dots. Click on it. Then you'll see Settings. Click on it. Towards the bottom, you see the little button that says Required PIN only once a day?
Yep.
Click on that. So if you're showing houses, 3, 4, 5, 10 houses a day, you put your PIN in once, the very first house, and never again.
Oh. Yep.
It's a simple little thing. It's silly and stupid. At the end of the day, how great is it to walk up to the house, talking to your client, you push the button, it's beeping, you're talking, you're not punching codes in. Especially if you're someplace that has bad cell coverage, it's already kind of in there and rolling. So required PIN only once a day. It is the simplest little hack that I discovered.
Settings.
Kim, do you like that one? Welcome.
How about the one CBS code?
So the one CBS code.
Meaning for all lockboxes?
Yes. You can set your CBS code for your lockboxes. So at the end of the day, pick one. Mine is my anniversary date. I got licensed on 3/28/2018. My CBS code is 3/28/2018. I never forget that. You can create a CBS code for every lockbox you have. Pick one. change it for all of them. So when you got someone ask the question, you're not, what box is that? Oh my gosh, which one is it? And trying to figure it out, no, you have one code.
So it's not, okay, so we'll just play with it and figure out where.
I don't think you can do it without the box.
You need the box.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta have the box.
You need the box, you can program the box and change the code for the box. So
Whatever you want.
Get all your boxes, line them all up like soldiers and take one and set the code, next, go all the way down the line. Create one code for all the boxes.
Nice.
It's just, it requires a little bit of time and never guessing again what your codes
Can't you
are.
go into if you go log into SuperNet, I think you can change them all
Change it there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have the
And
box
if
in
you're
front of
really
you.
stupid, you can go to the store and they'll do it for you.
So that's hack of all. When
No one in
someone
here
works for you,
stupid.
carry all your boxes and drop them and say, work for me. So. It's lazy, yeah, Eric's not stupid, he's lazy, so he'll do it that way.
That's not.
But that simple thing, setting one code, it's smart. It's a simple hack, it's a simple trick that requires little effort, but once you do it once, you never do it again. So, alright, next one. Texting shortcut for your iPhone. This is one of my favorite ones. Show of hands, who uses texting shortcuts on their phones? Not enough people, not near enough people. Alright, follow me. If you have an iPhone, if you have Android, I apologize. I don't know how Androids work. If you have an iPhone, go to General, in your settings, go to General. We'll do this together.
Got it.
Okay, so we're in General, then we're going to Keyboard, then we're going to Text Replacement. Okay? I'll wait till y'all get there. So Settings, General, Keyboard, Text Replacement. Okay?
Can add new ones.
Okay, and the plus in the top right, you see it?
Yeah.
Tap it. Okay, phrase. Type in your name, then a dash, then Keller Williams.
First and last name, you think?
Yep, whoever you would send to somebody.
Okay.
Yep, I mean, I don't put Christopher Van Zandt, I just put Chris Van Zandt.
Okay.
But whoever you would identify yourself as.
And then type out Keller Williams?
Yep, so phrase, your name, dash, Keller Williams. Okay, then in the shortcut bar, put your initials and KW. So EDKW, the architect, that's it.
Oh. Shortcut, no spaces.
No spaces.
Can be up, yeah.
Is this in the email or text?
This is text.
The text.
Shortcuts.
It's a shortcut.
And then KW, no space.
Yeah, well, I mean, KW, put a space.
Yeah, okay, good.
So I mean, as if you're typing the whole thing out. If you're typing out Eric Decker, Keller Williams. And then shortcut is your
Type the
initials,
initials,
KW.
And boom, it pops it up there.
So save that. From now on, you text somebody, you type in EDKW or your initials KW, it puts your whole name and Keller Williams attached to it. You change it to Atlanta North, you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. I do Keller Williams for short to make it easy for conversation. You guys got that?
That's awesome. Love it.
It's an easy way to you're texting somebody, and at the end of it, type in those 4 letters and it populates the rest of it. You guys get that?
This is brilliant.
Okay.
So you
It's
can
better
do
than
that.
like, is this property still available? Are there any
You can
offers?
do it with anything.
Yeah, no,
With-
you could do it with like, are there offers on this property?
Well,
How many
yeah.
times do we send it out?
Exactly, Liz.
Mhm.
Whatever things you send the most of,
God.
that's where I was headed.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
usually I'm almost home.
That's exactly right. Whatever words you say the most of, the phrases you use the most, create a simple shortcut you can remember. If you forget, you can go back to this area and find it again, by the way. Change and delete.
That's cool.
But the most common things you say, it could be things to your kids, hey, leaving work, I'll be home soon, do you need anything?
So
It could
Chris,
be anything.
if we're sending a text now, like I'm gonna do a test, if we're sending a text, what, do you just
Here,
put your
so-
initial?
Yeah, so go ahead and open the text. Just type, here, so go back, type in the 4 letters, your initials and KW. And there it is. Open your text bar, and, yeah,
Okay.
go back to it. With the W. The W back.
Small things and nice.
Yeah, tap on that.
Where's the off button?
You can select it.
Oh, okay.
You have to select it.
You have to select it, okay.
So if you want to, just text yourself, text a family, friend, whatever, and you'll see it. Then you type out your initials in KW, you need to select it.
Oh, you know what, you gotta hold your.
You gotta select
hold
to
it
make it
down a little bit, yeah.
auto correct. But like, listen, any you type in more than once, or you type in often, create shortcuts for it. In your personal life, in your business life. So it is a really, really simple little hack. All right, next one. Oh, Mary Caffrey taught me this one. Hey Siri, what is 60 days from May 3rd?
She didn't know.
Yeah. Hey Siri, what is 60 days from May 3rd?
It's Saturday, the 2nd of July, 2022.
Temp occupancy, or all these other things, you're counting down dates.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're in the
yeah.
calendar going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh crap, I forgot, I didn't count, oh. Just ask this machine to count down the days for you. That was an easy one, I just found that so simple.
Sure.
What?
Siri, are you sure?
Yeah, but I mean, I just remember, I'm getting the calendar out and I'm counting down days. So that's Mary Caffrey, she thought of that one, that's an easy one. What? That's a good question, I don't know. What do you wanna say? Hey Siri, what is 20 business days from today? We'll try. Hey Siri, what is 20 business days from May 3rd?
It's Tuesday, the 3rd of May.
I know what day it is. Hey Siri, what is 20 business days from May 3rd?
It's Tuesday, the 3rd of May, 2000.
Alright.
You might have to rephrase it.
Business days.
Alright, Earnest. Who uses Earnest here in the office for their Earnest money? If you're not, I'm not sure why you're not. It is the simplest, easiest thing. Checks being dropped off in the office. Now, there is a $15 service charge for your client. Make sure you tell them that. If you use Dotloop, and still do, I still do, there's a link within Dotloop in the loop to get the Earnest money thing started.
So
You literally
if
click
we
the
don't
button,
use
top right.
Dotloop, because we're good, and we moved over to DocuSign, where we find it.
Talk to Noel, she can send you the information, and it's, the app is super easy, it took me 3 minutes to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
You should download the app.
Yeah.
And if you have Dotloop, it's already in there. There's a link to it. But Earnest is the simplest thing. And that being said, not every client can send money through Earnest. Some people with certain banks, it won't work. So don't wait to the 11th hour of the last day to have your client send the money. Go under contract and tell them, hey, I've got a simple, easy app for you. They say you heck, to drive in and gas and traffic, they might not want to drive here anyway.
Totally, yeah.
You got clients that live far away, they don't want to drive to East Cobb to drop a check off. Convenience. It's the same as sending money like by PayPal, Venmo, it's just electronic bank transfer. So use the app, you have Dotloop, the link's right there, and you tell your clients, listen, follow the link, any problems or questions, please tell me. But in your purchase and sale, check the box, ACH and check. So if Earnest doesn't work for them, you can still, by contract, submit a check to the office. Don't just check ACH where you, in theory, can't submit a check.
Yeah, Earnest is an ACH, not a wire. Yep.
Thanks, Rick. So Earnest is a simple tool for your clients to send Earnest money. And you get an email saying it's been delivered, Melissa gets an email, and then you can forward that right on to the listing agent or to your transaction
You
coordinator.
could actually put everybody.
You can add them in there
Even
too.
the listing agent, yeah. That's cool.
So, simple, easy thing that everyone should be doing. Merging FMLS and GMLS on showing time. I'd love to how to show you how to do that, but you can go into showing time. There's a merge button on the left-hand side. You click one of your listings and click merge. You combine FMLS with Georgia MLS. So that way when people make a request, I learned the hard way. I had a busy listing once, and someone made a request for 4 o'clock. Well, I got another request for 4 o'clock a day or so later, didn't think anything of it, except as well. One did it from FMLS, one did it from Georgia MLS, and they don't match up. So you need to merge them. The challenge is when someone makes a request, looks like you have twice as much as you really do. It duplicates it. But that being said, it prevents overlapping showings, prevents confusion, and when someone makes a request, it's blocked out correctly for both people, right? When they go to log in, if 4 o'clock's already taken, they can't select it. They log on GMLS, if someone made a request at 4 o'clock from FMLS, still blocks it for them. If you don't merge them, it looks like it's wide open.
So on the flip side, if you can't get an appointment, go to Georgia MLS and book
And then you can say, I didn't know you let me in.
Yeah.
That is.
Hey, Chris? Chris?
But this way.
Hey, Chris?
Both
This- Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
The left-hand side. You go to listings, you select one listing. You'll see it there twice. You'll see it under both MLS. You can do it? Cool.
And Chris,
You can
so
also call
if
them
I
and
remember,
they'll
I
do it for
think I
you.
tried to do it.
There you go. Another more for you.
What'd she say?
You can call
If
them
you're
for
too
you.
stupid, like Kim says, they can
And
call.
so one negative is you're gonna see the showing confirmation twice. The same.
So it
time.
looks like it's twice, but the issue is that the advantage is, you have a better time while people actually making requests. So no matter what site they get on to make the request, it's locked equal, it's locked down the same.
Well, the way to avoid that double showing time confirmation is when you merge them, your name is in there twice as listing agent. You just delete one of yourself as the listing.
That's right. That's what I was gonna say too.
Lisa? Say that again?
So the reason you get double confirmations is because when you merge the listings, when it shows the list of people to be notified, it'll list you twice as listing agent. You just delete your name one of those times after you merge.
Thank you. Okay. Cool, I learned something too. Great. Love it. Click on listing setup. You have a listing. You go to listing setup, what happened here is you go to listing setup, your listings will pop down, you click one, and then a merge button pops up and you merge them.
But we have to go directly to the Georgia MLS.
What?
Either one.
Either one, you click either one and merge them. I think that was Teresa who just said delete your name. Teresa, is that you?
That was Teresa.
Thank you. So yeah, delete your name off one of them, and then it will only have one request pop up. But time block both. That way people can't make duplicate requests. Thank you. Alright. Next one, business contact card. Okay, this is another iPhone one. Who has a business contact card in their phone? You should probably have a personal one because you have one when you have an iPhone. Then you create a business contact card. Okay?
I use Haystack. What do you talking about?
I just use the iPhone contacts.
All right, Packer, show us what that looks like.
All right, it's fine. You just go to contacts on your phone, and then hit the plus button and make a business one. So you have a personal one, make a business one. So my business one is simply my name, and then for description, I have 3 important things: Realtor, Carol Williams, Atlanta. So if they forget my name, forget who I am, but they know me, Carl Williams, they can search and find me. If they're a referral partner, they can search Atlanta and find me. If they know I'm an agent and they forget where I work and what city I'm in, they can just search Realtor and they can find me there too. So mine says Realtor at Carol Williams, Atlanta. That's all it says.
In the same line, all in one line?
So it has my name. So go ahead and add
Is it on the company one?
one. And in your company, in the company line, put that. It gives people 3 chances to find you when they don't remember who you are. Okay? So you're gonna add a picture in there too. You wanna add, obviously, your name, the name you go by, the name they call you by. Do not put your formal name. I don't put Christopher for anything because no one calls me that. So put what people call you so they can find you. Any relevant numbers, for me, I just want my cell phone number in there. I don't want the office number. I don't want the office fax, so I don't use it. If they want to reach me, they have my cell phone to call me, okay? My email, it's obvious. The work address, I put that on there so that way if they have to drop a check off, or they want to come to Thomas and Brown for a closing, and they forget, they can look at my profile and figure out what the address is of where I work. For home, I put my home city, not my home address. People do not need to know where I live. But if I live in Woodstock, so I can say when I send someone information, I actually live here. It could be Marietta, you could be just duplicating information, but put your home city where you're at. It adds one more sphere that you're a part of. All right, so business contact card, your name, Realtor at Carol Williams Atlanta. 3 ways to find you. Your name, relevant phone numbers, email, work address, home city, and my favorite thing,
Birthday.
add your birthday, not the year. Doesn't matter how old you are, because at the end of the day, no one should judge you by that anyway. Put your month and the date of your birthday. The reason why is, when you share your contact card, guess what? You go into their calendar. And when your birthday pops up, August 10th, and I've not told my clients when my birthday is, and I get text on my birthday, only way they know it's my birthday is because I subliminally put my information into their phone, their calendar said, hey, it's Chris's birthday. At the end of the day, they may or may not text you, it does not matter, but they have one more touch without you doing anything. On that day, you pop up. If they like, love, and trust you, they might reach out and say, happy birthday, and have some kind of conversation. You did nothing and they called you. It is the simplest, easiest thing to create a conversation without any real effort. You are in their phone, and at least once a year, it'll pop up and remind them who you are. So when you meet new clients or talk to people, you share your contact card with them. Obviously, your goal is to get their information. That's always the goal, control information. But send yours back to them and send this contact card with all this detailed information so they can easily find you, reach you, and remember you. Cool? You like that one?
I do. Bring me down.
All right, Google Templates. Is Kevin Jackson on the? Is Kevin Jackson on the thing? All right. My good friend Kevin Jackson, I don't know what Google Templates are. He and I were brainstorming last night about some things. Who's used Google Template before? Anybody? All right. I didn't know what they were. I was hoping he'd be here to help us walk through them, but he has an actual class on this on the Quan Training Channel, utilizing Google tools. If you send the same email, essentially, over and over again to different clients, write it one time, save it as a template, like we do in Dotloop, right? Write email one, save it as a template, name it whatever you want to name it. And then when you go to write the new email, you click a few buttons. Are you able to pull up, yeah,
Because always delete.
Same thing in Outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delete your signature if you have one, because it'll duplicate it, and type in whatever you want. And then down at the very bottom, the little 3 dots says more options. Template. You scroll down, and you can save draft. Let me name it. Again, save new template, it will name it whatever the subject line is, then you can just delete it, compose again, template, there's that thing, it just does everything for you. Then you type an email and send.
So write the things you send the most, write it one time and save it. You got it there forever. So Kevin has a class on that on the training channel with that and more kind of tips and tricks, that kind of stuff. So I think that is it. Yep. I just thank people who actually posted stuff on there for me. So honestly, I got lots of ideas from all of you in different conversations. To me, these are the fun things to learn because they just either improve your business, save some time, make life a little bit easier. So there you go. Thank you. All right, any other hacks from you guys you can share? Do you guys do that we haven't discussed? We get all implemented.
I wanted to ask, do you know, on FMLS, when you've got a vacant property and you're a listing agent, so you don't need to get those requests to say yes, where you're just constantly, where it automatically says yes for you if it.
Yes, confirms your showing time.
Yeah.
Can you share, I mean, if you know that, can you share how that's done?
Yeah, it's through showing time, do you know how to go in there? Yeah, through showing time, you can change everything from how long the times are. Go in there and please change from an hour and shorten to something different.
Don't make it 15 minutes.
What?
Don't make it 15 minutes.
15 minutes is absurd, I
Be
hate
kind.
those, yeah, you can't see anything, especially the person before you's late, and you can't get in, change it to 30 minutes. Let's Kindle show us out. Yeah, you can change it so it instantly accepts. And I only do this for the vacant properties where I don't wanna manage it.
Or land.
Yeah, or
Or
land.
if they're leaving for a weekend, and they go, just show the house.
Yeah.
You know.
Go and show.
Right.
It's just go, oh yeah, or to say go and show.
I have a hack to see, I don't know if it's a hack, but it's what I use to see a proper acreage.
Really? Okay,
Because it's always wrong in the tax records.
Yes.
About 80% of the time.
sure,
It's on FMLS.
okay.
I would probably have to tell Kimberly how to.
Do you
What
click,
is that?
do you click the,
Click the parcel,
Click the
like
parcel.
click the map, click the parcel, and then click in the parcel, but not on the home.
okay,
And then
we'll
lot
do,
dimensions.
we'll do that next. Alright,
So you go to add edit, and you go to manage showing time.
Whoa.
Yeah, that, other thing.
Yeah, because they pull it from the tax records.
Right here, appointment type, required, courtesy go and show, which means once they set the appointment, it automatically accepts their appointment. You don't have to accept it.
And you get a notice.
You can also add your client down here where they can accept it, you don't have to. You can add attachments for disclosures, so when they set an appointment, an email goes to them with the disclosures.
that to me is a must.
That's a great.
Yeah,
Like, it's easier doing that than Remind, actually.
Oh, yes.
This is so simple. I mean, it's 3 clicks and things are uploaded, and every time they request it, they get all the docs you need and have.
Your private remarks here as well. What else?
You can set length of appointment.
On those docs, it sends it as a section, right?
Correct.
So buyer's agents, when you're showing, you get the second email, that's what all the docs are. Never got these.
Yeah, you did, you didn't get an email.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, there's the merge button.
There we go.
And put in the alarm code, please. Don't make us call you when it's going off for the alarm code.
Block all
Oh, it
time,
doesn't matter, I'll set it up.
Like, yeah. Cobb
Yeah.
County comes quick.
Block off time in 2 days. If you're not showing, if you're listing on a Wednesday, Thursday, not doing showings until Saturday, please block off Thursday and Friday so no one can make the requests and they get rejected. Just don't give them the option.
Another good,
Just completely block it out so they have no choice.
another good time to do that is if you have a deadline for your offers and you know you're gonna decide at like 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock Sunday, don't allow showings after that, because especially if your guys are out of town and they wanna come home, and so, yeah, that's been really helpful.
Hey, Chris, it's Danielle. You can also remind them they can send a broadcast message through showing time to all the agents, like if you want to let them know about a deadline or just information.
That's a great one, Danielle.
Oh,
Where
Yeah,
do you do that?
you call for highest and best, or
that one.
you are going to let them know a change of an open house or anything at all you want the world to see.
You wanna send the loser email?
Yep, yeah.
So where,
So where again?
Kim, where do you,
Pull it
where
from
do
the
you do that?
template, you remove loser
Yeah, use email as the subject header.
Danielle, where do you go to do that?
Messages?
Hey, Kimberly, you go into listing setup.
Not that you wouldn't know.
Did you hear me, Kimberly? You go into listing setup and
Time?
Listing setup.
No, listing setup, right,
Oh,
you're right there. And then,
broadcast.
yeah, I'm not, I can't, I'm on my phone, so I can't see the screen. Hold on, let me go into showing time real fast. You found it? Okay.
Broadcast, this would be the email.
Yeah.
Cool.
I knew it was in there.
so you click select recipients, select groups, I think you can select everyone who's shown the property, this is the right place.
those that have showed the property.
You can do
Yeah,
one,
Right?
there's one you
I
get.
do. I go into listing activity report, Kimberly. I go into listing activity report, and then you say send notification, and then it just automatically. So if you go to listing setup, then listing activity report, just pick one.
Under report,
Under, are you in a listing? I can't, because I'm on my phone, it's hard to see what you're looking at, but if you just choose the listing, like go into showing time and then choose one of your listings or something.
Yeah, go to listing setup. Pick one. Pick Magdalena's. Miriam's.
And then listing setup.
You were there.
No, you gotta go back. It's like one of those blue tabs on the left. No, the blue bars right there underneath the person.
Yeah.
Listing activity report.
Yeah.
I mean, and then does it say, you go to listing activity report and then send notification.
Yep, right there.
The other thing is.
That's it.
And then, but you need to click on the drop down because I think it automatically defaults to price reduction. So you want to change it to other, and then you just type in the message in the header.
The other thing is if you forget all of that, the help button is the support thing, and just type in mass email. And it has a little tutorial that
Nice.
you can listen to while you're doing it. Not that I've done that.
Yeah.
I can never remember it because it's several steps you have to
it
go
is.
through.
Yeah.
It's helpful when you decide to, on Saturday, do something changed, and you're relying on hoping the agent may go back to your property, may put private remarks, odds are they don't. So this way it forces it to them, either write an offer or whatever information you need them to have. It's a powerful tool. Alright. Versus emailing every person, one person who saw your, one at a time.
Now I know.
Yeah.
And you can set it wherever people who either favorited your house, any agent who has a search set up, or agents who have actually seen the property and made a request. So that way, if it's only people who've seen it, you're not blasting the world, you're blasting the 20 people who actually care about the house.
Right.
Yeah, someone told me yesterday, Chris, that they, when they are getting ready to accept offers, that they will text everyone that showed the property saying we're doing highest and the best at this time. That's what y'all talking about, right? Any message that says bring offers right now, but.
Click these buttons versus texting 20 individually.
It's so much easier.
Let them all know.
Time saved. And I'll be honest, it saves conversation. You text 20 agents, they're gonna text you back, and next thing you know, you're knee deep in it. Send an email and be done.
And I like that because do you know how many times Jim or myself or someone gets a call or the agent isn't returning the call, what's happening? We put an offer in, what's happening? So.
You can do the same thing. You say, hey, listen, all offers received, my clients are gonna decide by 10 o'clock Monday night.
Right.
You put it in private remarks, that means they're gonna read it, but blasting it to them removes them calling you, them blowing up your phone. It's there. They choose to ignore it, that's their problem, not yours, but you at least give them the information.
And you've got a trail.
Yeah. What was one? Can we go to FMLS? Katie, we have time to show?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. You know why? When I learned it yesterday. Did you tell me it? Somebody told me yesterday. It might have been you. Were we in class together?
I always tell my classes.
You know what? I think it was Ignite. Was it Ignite last week?
I always tell at night. I always tell
It was.
This is for acreage, for accurate acreage versus looking at tax
So
records.
I always use this as an example because I actually got married in this backyard. So I know that it's a big backyard. And if you go, normally when you look for acreage, I would go to tax records.
And it's wrong.
And it's wrong. And so in the tax records, it says that it's here at 0.2388 acres. Well, this is a 70s build on over a half acre lot, and I knew that.
So if you go back to an old listing or a neighbor, if there's no old listing, you find it in FMLS and click the address, that blue address. Scroll into the property and click somewhere on the parcel, not on the house. Click on this little thing, it says lot dimensions, and it gives you the square feet. So 23845 square feet, you stick it in Google and convert it to acreage. 21,000 is half acre, and so it's 0.57 acres or something. Nice. It's over twice what the tax records say.
Can you do that one more time?
Nice, thank you.
So FMLS, you click on
So
the
FMLS,
address.
it's this, and if there is no old listing, just find a neighboring parcel.
Okay, yep.
And then scroll onto the actual parcel, not the little blue house.
Okay.
And then in the bottom left corner, there's a little lot dimensions.
Okay, perfect.
And then it gives you right there.
You can also do it if you click on the little map icon underneath the photo. See the map icon all the way to the left?
That's right, that's all, yeah.
Yeah, you can, same exact thing will happen.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
Or if you go to Georgia MLS and do CRS, it'll tell you it's 0.55 acres. I don't know why those tax records.
Georgia MLS?
See, it's 0.57, that's what I.
It's Georgia MLS.
That's,
Where do these
I'm
numbers
sorry,
come
I'm
from?
looking at Georgia MLS.
County, right?
Broken.
Good for other things.
Well,
Go to
so
CRS.
one more.
Yeah, go
one more
outside of Metro
quick question.
Atlanta too, you have to use it.
One more quick question. So if you have a new listing and, they can start showing it Wednesday, how do you like the idea of saying no offers will be reviewed or accepted until Sunday?
No.
Good plan, not a good plan?
No, because there's a no.
What if an
I
amazing
think
offer
it's-
comes
No,
on?
yes.
I have a paste, cut and paste that says seller reserves the right to accept any offer at any time.
Yes,
Yes.
basically what I,
Love that.
that's what I did.
Cause they, I
And
mean,
that's in
unless the
all of
seller-
our private remarks.
Yes.
But typically, I mean, I was asked a question yesterday by somebody, and I said, great question. Typically, a good idea though, to put it on market on Wednesday and realize, say,
No.
no, we're not gonna finalize the offer until Sunday.
That's not a good, that's
Oh,
not a good
I got
idea,
it.
much less to put it in writing,
Right.
but I
Right,
mean,
exactly.
You'll get bit, I mean, if a client decides, I'm done, and this is what I'm gonna take versus waiting till, then you, yeah, I totally agree with you.
Listing agents, they like it, the buyer's agents like it.
It gives you
I
time to
don't
get
know why a
something.
listing
some
agent
people
would like
like
it.
Don't trust that that's the case though.
They
But then there's a lot of
think they're
frustration with
getting
it, so.
the most offers for their sellers around them. Well, guys, I'm in my towers, I don't know about this.
So
They
what
think they're
about the
most offers.
person that pulls out? That was a great offer that you
Yeah.
missed because you waited till Sunday to get back to them and 3 more houses came on the market and they bought one of them.
Right.
That's the seller's risk. I mean, if they're out of town and they can't be reached, that's just my initial thinking. They may want that. Hey, Eric, I'm not gonna be back. I'm off the grid till Sunday.
Don't put the house on the market
It's all
till
conversation,
Friday.
it's all conversation with your seller.
Yeah.
What are their expectations? What's their goal?
Right.
How can we reach it? That's all it boils down to. At the end of the day,
And-
ask them, if I brought you an offer on Friday, would you consider taking it?
Right.
Yes.
Or, because all their friends are saying I got the highest dollar amount, or do you wanna wait till Sunday at 8 and look at offers then? What works best for you? What
Right.
reaches your goals?
Right. It's a conversation.
But as a buyer's agent, don't trust that they really are gonna wait till Sunday at 6
Yeah.
o'clock because they may
Paige-
get an amazing offer and
Paige
you
covered
waited.
it all.
Correct.
She did,
It covered all.
cause she, you know what,
Yeah.
because she's remembering the market of 10 years that we've had. I mean, this market is so artificial, it really is, cause some of the, we're not having the right conversations with our sellers, we're just telling them. We're gonna list your house on Thursday, and we're not asking them what they really truly want. We're just saying, this is what's happening out there, everybody else is doing it, so here's what we're gonna do.
And you need
And
to
it's
be
not
very
we.
careful, you need to be very careful what you put in there.
Right.
Because it is not up to you when the seller is to accept an offer.
Exactly.
I like your
Kate,
clause,
what's
Paige.
it, say it one more time.
That's
Seller-
right, Paige.
Yeah, thank you,
You can go to
Danielle.
Seller
Roberts.
reserves the right to accept any offer at any time.
Seller reserves the right to do, say one more time?
Seller reserves the right to accept any offer, which covers your butt on another side, at any time. They can accept an offer that's less than what yours is.
By saying that, people who were waiting till the last second, this basically put their offer in there and not wait till Sunday at 6 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And if they're serious, they write the offer and put it in there, because if it's good enough, they might win.
We had an incident where an agent upset because she did wait till last minute and submitted her offer at 7 o'clock, when the seller was gonna accept offers at 8 o'clock, and hers was more complicated, so they didn't have a chance to check it out. And she lost, and she was mad about it, but no, your offer is better, I'm sorry, but the seller picked the one that they want.
Wow.
Yeah, one that they want, exactly right.
And the seller reserves the right.
Exactly right.
To accept any offer at
But
any time.
and most listing agents are not putting that clause that Paige is saying, so like the other day, I'm gonna go back to Chris's first slide of this presentation is, pick up the phone and call that listing agent, because if they put in there that thing about, we're accepting offers until this date, I called the agent the other day and I said, I wanna make sure you're being true about that. And she said, I'm not lying. And she goes, I might even just put that in there. I'm not lying. I was like, okay, because we know what happens.
Yeah.
You can't trust that. When that clause is in there, then you're.
If you're sending an offer and it's gonna be late, call the agent and say, listen, I'm getting ready to an offer, here are our terms. Is it competitive? Here's how I phrase it, I go, I know you're busy, congrats on an amazing listing, I know you're sorting through offers, I'm gonna write one right now. Just let me know, are we even competitive? I'll take my time writing it, give you the time presenting it, and if they say, I'm telling them terms, I'm not sending it to them anyway by email in an hour anyway, so what's the difference? I'm not hiding anything. Here's what I've got. And sometimes they'll say, no, you're not even close. Great, thanks for the information page, I really appreciate it. My clients do too, because now you're not thinking for the next 24 hours that they win the house. I can call them right now and say, hey, I know you loved it, it's not the right fit. The great agent told me why, and it removes all pressure from all sides.
And I, on the listing side, I mean, the last couple that I had, the agents that did that called and said, these are the terms, it just saves so much time, and I, you can't tell them everything, but you can certainly say, yeah, that would definitely be something that you should write up.
I have another little thing that I put in private remarks that has really helped. And that is seller requests that you present your best offer first.
Our last one said we put an escalation clause in. And you said, Arthurine, she's older, I had a hard time explaining that escalation.
So you've read the rest of what I say, and then it says no escalation clauses, but I am now negotiating for the seller, right? If I'm saying no escalation clauses, I'm negotiating for the seller, so I have my seller initial private remarks.
Last but not least, when you call an agent, out of 10 agents you call, how many of them actually answer their phone and talk to you?
Not two,
One,
three,
two,
two or three, two or three.
One, especially
I don't know,
when you.
I'm getting most of them to talk to me, so I don't know why, if I'm just being nonstop and being too persistent. But I call, I text, and I follow up. I don't do one thing and say, oh, I can't talk to them. I'm busy too, I don't answer the phone.
Right.
So I don't pretend they're not busy, I don't pretend they're on the beach. I assume they're working, and so I don't think that them not answering is indication of them being a bad agent. It could be them being a busy agent.
If they don't return your call, your text, then that's just flat out rude. Within a reasonable amount of time. Meaning if you say, hey, I'd like to speak with you about your listing, I have some questions, and I'd like to, if you're being nice and you ask, hey, can you return my call, please?
Why are you gonna ask questions that you couldn't have read?
That's just it. If I've got a seller preference sheet or I've got information in there, and you call and ask me those things, I am pissed.
It's mainly about how many offers you have.
Like I'm gonna tell you.
Well, sure, a lot of people do.
Well, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying.
They can, if the seller says it's okay, they can.
But I wanna
half
talk
of the
about-
time, we're not asking our sellers that question.
Is it,
That one.
is it in
They
the
have to
seller's
appear in
best
writing.
interest to tell an agent that you have 17 offers on the property?
It is not, I never tell agents how many offers we have. I don't think it benefits the seller.
It does not.
And, you know, I
They
agree,
have the right to not say.
I agree with Paige, because what if it's a super offer and they get discouraged because you just told 17?
Yeah.
Why don't you just say we are accepting offers and would welcome
And I'll take it a
yours?
step further, is asking some other questions to help with writing your offer, meaning what does the seller need as far as, you know, some of those other questions. Timeline, closing date, you know, a lot of it's offer prep. I mean, you wanna know, back to the other question, should I even put one in? Like how, you know what I mean?
I always ask that
How close-
question. I don't write an offer anymore without asking the question. I just, now it depends where you're writing it. Sometimes if you're the first offer on Thursday, I just go ahead and write the offer. I won't be the first one in the door.
Sure.
Sometimes being the first one and being the, can get you a win. The first strong offer. Yeah, don't write a 420 house escalation, you know, escalating to 480 when start off with 450, 460, 480. Don't escalate to $1 million, then you're actually gonna pay it. Just start with a strong number.
Yeah.
Start the first number, go back to the closing cost conversation. The first number someone tells their client is the number you wrote. They don't go they say 420. And then the first number they heard was what they get in their ear and it's sitting in there. Start off with the highest number you can give or comfortable giving and then escalate your review.
Well, and being the first offer in the door with an escalation clause just makes them wanna hold on to your offer and collect more.
Right.
So one strategy I heard about that was if you want to do that, to make a shorter reply for timeline, or say, this is subjected to the client, basically say, if you're willing to set their offer in the next 24 hours, we will bump up our offer by X number of dollars.
Yes.
So basically saying, putting it on them, saying, here's what we've got, we know you're gonna wait, cause why wouldn't you?
Sure.
I get it, I get you're gonna wait. Here's the deal, we're serious, if we go higher, you need to choose in 24 hours. Would you do it? Doesn't mean you're gonna win or lose, just a conversation.
Yeah. It's good.
So guys, I think we've learned today that there's not one mojo that works every time.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's just not one thing that works all the time, but because certain these things add about Christine, fabulous. So we have options on that. But is there one thing that works every time for buyers?
No.
Escalation clauses work every single time? No.
Communication.
There's one thing that works every single time for a buyer.
What's that?
Preparing them and making sure that their expectations are in check. Just making sure that their expectations are in check. The buyers that we have lost, and we have during this period of time, are buyers that would not accept the expectations that we prepared them for. So they had to go to someone else and hear the same thing out of different lips, and they got a house, or they came back to us. And we've had both situations.
Yep, sure.
But when you lose somebody and you have prepared them to the best of your ability for their expectations, and they don't, and they leave you, what's the next word, next? I mean, we're losing people that I would have never lost in the past. But I tell people, you know, I'm gonna do everything I can for you, but you have to realize it's a crazy world we're living in.
And the seller gets to pick the one they like the best.
Yes.
And it could be because they decided that they would let them stay in there 6 months after closing. Who knows? Could be anything. So guys, you don't always know. But if you don't ask Chris, you won't know, right?
Correct.
All right, can we give Chris a hand with us? All right, guys, anything left out, Kimberly? I told Lily about her bourbon. We've already negotiated for us having a sip of it together, so.
Oh, great.
We're already gonna do, guys. Enjoy your day. Thanks so much, Chris. Okay, guys, thank you all.
Thanks,
Thanks for all your input.
Yeah, it's a 3-2.